What's up guys, Grincherz here, back with another video. Today I'll be doing a Duelyst patch 1.85 rundown. Not too much involved in this patch, but it does involve some changes to the gauntlet mode, which is exciting in and of itself. First thing you have to know when you come to this patch is there are no balance changes. So if you're like me and have been a little down because the ladder isn't what you want it to be, then I think this will be a little disappointing, but looking forward to the expansion that is promised towards the end of June, early July, I can reasonably expect that we'll see a lot of positive changes towards the somewhat stale ladder. So keep on trucking. Don't get too let down, and you have some new fun things to do in Gauntlet. So let's break it down. It dropped today, June 1st, and I actually got to do a couple Gauntlet runs myself. So I can honestly attest to the power of the impacts, but let's go ahead. We're super excited to end results experimental mode Rift, but as promised we're bringing back the Gauntlet. During its downtime we managed to sneak in a few enhancements. Now, this part is the only part that I don't really like. A popular feature from Rift, you can now choose from one of 4 generals. It's kind of whatever. I had 2 different Gauntlet runs today, and one of them had both of the Vanar generals, and one Vitruvian, and one something else, and I ended up picking Xerix. But you go from basically having the choice of 6 generals to 4, and I'm not. I don't see the point, except to basically make you feel bad if you end up with a bunch of generals that you don't want to play to begin with. At least before, you were guaranteed 50% of all of the generals in the game because you had 3 different factions. Now you have, at the minimum you could only have 2 different factions, and at the maximum you could have 4, but you could get a general you don't like. So while I think the intent behind this is to discourage less meta picks in Gauntlet. For example, if nobody sees Faye, then no one will play her, right? So I think that's kind of and it's like this imaginary bar that's been set to inhibit the amount of meta that can be derived from it. So it'll work as a very soft cap in that regard, but the people that play Gauntlet will probably not notice anything as far as that, because they're going to pick what's strong out of the. So let's say they have Saj, Starhorn, Kara, and Faye. So, obviously you're going to pick Faye if you're going for, to farm the Gauntlet wins. So there's just, to me, there's too much loss in this when Gauntlet is already somewhat of a skewed mode, and, it's harder to get a good match in Gauntlet than it is on Ladder, regardless of the meta. So I think giving people more selection would have been better, whereas now it feels like you can just waste your purchase. So, but it's not so bad. You're gonna get a decent enough variety. You're just not gonna get to do what you want to do if that's what you're looking for. So Fortune Shaper, Fortune Shaker, and Fate Sealer are now 3 new minions that are coming into the Gauntlet mode, and they appear randomly with other rares in your selection. So you could have 2 normal rares and then a Fate Sealer or something like that. And this is actually pretty interesting. I think these are all very decent cards for their cost, like a 2-mana 2/3. That's that's respectable. With your next Gauntlet card choices will be epic cards. That's pretty decent. Let's kind of zoom in, make sure that we're getting the read on that. So that's probably the best one. Epics tend to be the more a diverse card pool to pick from, and more practical cards than legendaries in practice as far as just average gameplay goes. While the 3-mana 3/3 that lets you your next Gauntlet card choices will be legendary neutral cards, it's pretty decent. This could mean that you have the selection of Rook, Dark Nemesis, and Pandora, which Pandora is actually an excellent card, don't get me wrong. The other 2 not so much. So you kind of take in what what you could get, and you could get something good or you could get something completely random. which is fine. This one, however, I think is the most skewed one and is very dependent upon your deck's identity as well as what faction you're using it in. For example, I feel like this card could be excellent in Songhai to try and fish out that Zendo or even a Calligrapher or something like that, but not so much in like Magmar, where you could get like a Vindicator, Chrysalis Burst, and a Twin Fang or something, or a Morin Kerr. So it's much more powerful in the factions that have really strong standalone legendaries and don't require too much synergies to pull off, because Gauntlet is harder to get a lot of value out of the synergies that you are used to on ladder. However, these are all definitely more interesting tools that you can implement into your draft, and I look forward to seeing how consistent decks get and how inconsistent, Well, I picked 3 Fortune Shakers and I got 3 Rooks XD. That'd be pretty fun. The rewards I can definitely attest to are very nice. I got a 12 wins with my Xerix today, and we got 2 rares and an epic. We got exactly this package. I got 2 different rares and an epic. This was exactly the package that I got. So I don't know if you can get legendary cards anymore or not, or if this is exactly this is the limitations. More data will be necessary, but if you look at it, I mean, this is almost $10 worth of material by itself. That's 260 gold, which is almost enough for 2 runs. That's 135 spirit plus all of this spirit, and then $5 key and $100 gold. So you're talking almost $10 if you get 12 wins worth of content, and that's a very good deal. That's a very, very good deal. So I'm very pleased that the bar has been upped even more for Gauntlet to hype up the return, and I hope to see a lot of people utilizing Gauntlet and Gauntlet-based resources to try and get more out of their time when they're playing free-to-play. So this is a very good boon to those who enjoy Gauntlet and can reap the benefits. This is also really exciting. We've added that's the bonus rewards, and we've added the ability to play your Gauntlet decks with friends. Any deck you draft in Gauntlet can be used in friendly challenges for up to 2 weeks after drafting. That's exciting. So we could see some really sick Gauntlet decks perform in a tournament of some sort now, because you can take your Gauntlet deck and play against someone else. So I look forward to seeing what people do. Like, people could start a Gauntlet tournament, While you may have gone 0-3 with your deck in Gauntlet, but you feel like it didn't get its fair shake, you could challenge your friend with it, Or you got a 12-win deck and you want to really mess people up with it, you can keep playing it. So, pretty good. I like it. It's going to be fun just to have another mode of play that, just like the Rift decks outside of normal mode, normal Rift mode being able to be played, it's more content, it's more we can do, and the more we can do, the better. More lore unlocked and some bug fixes that I'm looking forward to. The AI increase for the bosses, practice matches. If you use those, then you got harder AI. Fixed an issue that could allow minions who couldn't move to be able to move when movement buffs were applied in certain orders. I actually never experienced this one personally, so I don't really know, but hey, bug fix, gotta be good. Upcoming roadmap, Android Alpha in testing. I'm in the alpha myself for the iOS. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. The continuing card expansions are the next year. Next expansion coming in this quarter. Really good. So no balance changes, but we do have a lot of exciting new stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' thoughts on what you aim to do with the new Gauntlet stuff. So if you are excited for Gauntlet as I am, go ahead and leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on not the Rift anymore, on the Gauntlet. Take care.